Presented by Vyasa Media Network.
So how was it in your early days? You became a lawyer in the 90s. At that time, Nepal was, I'm not sure if it still is, but at that point, it was a very male-dominated society in a lot of space, and specifically law, right? I think we were talking about it. Supreme Court was all men most of the time as well, right? Like you would probably be meeting at any given space or time more male lawyers than women lawyers. How was it working as a female lawyer then? What were some of the challenges?
There were some specific challenges in my case because I went to law school in India and I came to Nepal, and this is where I started working for the first time ever. What brought me to Nepal was actually marriage. Right? I got married to someone in my final year of law school. Again, I wasn't expecting to get married in my final year of law school, but it was an arranged marriage. It just turned out that way. And then I moved to Nepal and started working here. So one challenge for me was just also figuring out the legal landscape in Nepal and, where I fit in this context where I didn't have a law degree from Nepal. I hadn't studied Nepalese law. And for me, just that itself was a huge challenge. And then slowly I realized, okay, there are many different things you can do with a law degree, right? You can be a litigator, or you can be an academic, or you can maybe be more involved in policy, advocacy. So all these possibilities started becoming quite apparent to me. And I felt that I had to try out a few different things before I could make a decision. So I took up a position as a volunteer at the Legal Aid and Consultancy Center.
LAC. It still exists.
It still exists. And it was founded by this lady, a feminist lawyer who I think in some ways was kind of ahead of her time back then. Dr. Shanta Thapalia, a very warm woman. She basically took me in and she was very kind and she really supported my learning and introduced me to all the things that were happening at LAC, all the different opportunities. I never felt like I was, that I had to limit myself in any way. Actually, she really encouraged me to expose myself to all the policy discussions that were happening in LAC at the time relating to the property law in Nepal, which was discriminatory, and there had been a whole case challenging the constitutionality of Nepal's discriminatory property law, and there were discussions around policy reform. She allowed me to accompany lawyers at LAC who actually provided counseling to victims of domestic violence, and that was the first time I ever met women who had experienced domestic violence. And I found myself in a role where I had to be part of that sort of process of providing support. And as I was learning, I was also supporting these women and helping them. And I also did a lot of legal research and writing as well.
Presented by Vyasa Media Network.